What's up everyone? Now it's a bit of a dreary day today, certainly not going to be as hot as it was at the weekend, but last night was actually quite good for moths, and there's still loads of moths about after the heat wave, and I've already got a couple new species for my garden. It's always nice when I get new species for the garden, whether it's small ones like micros or a new pug species or something like that, or the case that I get a large moth that's new, such as an egger or a hawk moth. And today we've got both ends of the spectrum. So first, I'm going to show you this little chap. This is bordered pug. It's one of the Eupithecia species, which are notoriously tricky to identify, but bordered pug is one of the nicer ones. It's got a lovely sort of whitish ground colour to the wing with dark borders. So that's a nice new pug for my garden. And moving on to the other end of the spectrum. Look at that. So this is Sphinx pinastri, the pine hawk moth. And it's a species that is mainly a southern species. It has spread up into Yorkshire, mainly southern records in Yorkshire. I'm in North Yorkshire, but there are the odd record from really far north. It's a moth that can't really decide what to do, whether it wants to jump up far ahead north or stay down south. But it was only a matter of time before I had it in the trap, so it's nice to finally get it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful moth. Lovely grey forewings, dusted, sort of paler speckles, and with 2 or 3 dark streaks on the wing. Really nice moth to get, pine hawk moth. Alright then, looking busy, so let's open it up and see what we've got on the first egg box. Okay, so as expected, it's pretty busy. I've already written all of these down, a few have flown away. We do... where is it? We did have a peppered moth, I don't know where it's gone. There it is. So we've got a peppered moth, Biston betularia, they're still flying. Sometimes get these up to middle of August. Quite a few large yellow underwings as well, but they're quite flighty. There's one there, that's a large yellow underwing, very, very common. We've got a nice micro, that one is Carcina quercana. And this ermine one here is Eponometa evonimella. That's that one with the spots. And this one here is Botania ruralis, the mother of pearl, one of the larger micros, and got that lovely pearly sheen to the wings there. Also very, very common. Yep, so it's busy. Sticking with the theme that not all pugs are tricky to identify, we have another nicely marked one here, and this one is more widespread and a lot more common than the bordered pug, so you are likely to get this if you trap in your garden. This is the lime speck pug. Looks a bit like a bird dropping, but it is very nicely marked and very easy to identify. There's pretty much no pugs that look similar to this, so that's nice. It's another Eupithecia species. Not sure on the specific scientific name, but that'll be on screen. It is looking packed. We are entering what mothers call brown moth season. So full of things like dark arches, large yellow underwings, the brown moths really, the more common ones. And I don't have anything against them, but there is a distinct lack of really colourful species at this time of year. We have got a couple of eggs on this egg carton. And they're definitely not chicken eggs. They look to me like drinker moth eggs, Euthrix potatoria. So I'm guessing there'll be a female drinker in here as well somewhere. Okay, so this is a nice one. Flown away. That was a white plume moth, which is one of our micros. Orange head, funky hairstyle. It can only be one moth. The burnished brass. I love catching this moth. And it's a moth that you will get in your garden as well, fairly commonly, as the larvae feed on stinging nettles and occasionally other low-growing plants. And we all know how common stinging nettles are, so the moth's range is very widespread. But they are very, very nice moths. And another lovely common moth is the Lathopopuli, the poplar hawk moth. It's another very nice common moth. Often when people first see this, the first reaction is wow. It's just so beautiful. I mean, there's no really bright colours, but the wing shape, the size. It's a stunning thing. All the hawk moths are. A pair of beauties. Okay, and who doesn't love a buff tip? Phalarope bucephalar. Absolutely stunning moth. I know I featured it a lot on this channel, but I can't help it. I just love it. Amazingly marked. Okay, this one's a nice moth. This is, of course, the moth that the Moody Blues sang about in their 1968 hit. I'm obviously talking about the white satin. A gorgeous moth, larger than the similar yellowtail, which we have one sat over here, and with stripy black and white legs. Very nice. They're a local species, but they can be common where they do occur. Do like catching them. And there's a couple in the trap today as well. And this plain, rather nondescript moth is another one that I don't get very often. I think I've only had it 3 times now. This is fen wainscot. Much plainer than similar smoky and common wainscot, of which we have one over here. Much plainer. In fact, there's hardly any markings on the wing at all, which is one of the ways you can recognise it. It is fairly local, uncommon in Yorkshire. Don't know about its status in the rest of the UK. And we have the lovely gold spot. Even though the spots aren't gold, it's still a lovely moth, nice metallic markings. Kind of a goldeny brown wing with those 2 white spots on the wing there. And another moth with a very funky hairstyle. Nice. And we've got the summer brood of early thorn, Selenia dentaria. Much smaller and more pink than the spring brood. The spring brood flies from late February to early May, and the summer brood from the middle of June to the beginning of September. Okay, we've got a few nice moths on here. First one though, this is quite one, but this is dark swordgrass. And this is an immigrant, a migrant from Africa and southern Europe. It's a fairly regular migrant. It does turn up fairly regularly here, but I don't get it every year. I've had it 4 times this year though, so it must be having a good year. What other moths do we have? We have this lovely green one. That is July high flyer. So it flies in July and early August. And they are very variable. There's a yellow form and a pinkish brown form as well. Green is one of the most common forms though. So that's nice. And it's not the best angle I can get, but down here, past the past the poplar hawk moth, we have an olive. And the olive is a noctuid that I don't get very often either. Very similar to a really rare one called a double kidney, which only has one site in Yorkshire. And probably wouldn't get double kidney in the trap, as that site is a few miles away from here. But olive is one that turns up on occasions. I've had 2 in this trap though, so that's nice to get 2. And of course, poplar hawk moth. brilliant moth. We've had gold, we've had brass, and now it's time for silver. Silver Y. Another migrant, very common, very regular migrant, arrives in its thousands in Yorkshire every year. There's usually about 6,000 records a year of silver Y. It flies by both day and night, and breeds regularly. The larvae feed on a wide range of herbaceous plants. But it's a nice moth, another one that's always nice to get in the trap. Don't get it too often, I see it more during the day if I'm honest, feeding at flowers. But yeah, that is Autographa gamma, the silver Y. And we're probably going to finish on this fluffy fella, the aptly named yellowtail or gold-tail Euproctis smilis. Fluffy white, males with that dark mark at the top of the forewing, and the yellowtail. There we go. The larvae of these are brightly coloured, and the hairs can detach and cause a rash, so you have to be careful with the larvae. And they are a very common moth. Used to be quite local, but I think they've got more common as the years have gone on. Definitely one of my favourites. Right then, absolutely hectic moth trap. Very busy, I think we had about 90 species and probably well over 500 moths. So yeah, gonna leave it there. Welcome to summer. The trap might get busy throughout the end of July. Might get some more species dropping in, so I'll have to see. I'll stick the trap out next week if the weather is decent, but leave this one here for today. So if you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And we will see you again, as always, on the next one.